Hi, how you doing? Been sick for the past couple days. Some knucklehead gave me the creeping fungus. A flu. Alright, I shouldn't have said fungus. Someone's going to say, what did I get? I think it was the flu. Could have been the cold. Never said this before about any camera ever. No one's mentioned this, and I can guarantee you this 100%. If you're trying to get an X-T3, don't wait for it to come in on September the 20th. You really should pre-order the camera. That does several things. I'm going to tell you why you need to pre-order the X-T3 very briefly here in just a couple seconds. It actually informs the camera store, who informs the supplier, how many pre-orders there are, so that Fujifilm can actually drop those X-T3 cameras to the distributorships, which have then, of course, supply the retailers, whether you use online or a local camera store. And of course, most camera stores are gone now. But I know for a fact that Fujifilm is going to sell the hell and bejesus out of the X-T3 for a few different reasons. One, it's not a slight upgrade, it's actually a generational upgrade. It's not like when Nikon brought out the D3S or the Nikon D4S, which was just, a few little additional features. Importantly, Nikon and Canon both really screwed the pooch this year, and in a short, there's a lot of people out there that have been saving their money for the latest and greatest camera for the end of 2018, which is when all these companies drop their cameras, and since Nikon and Canon really fudged up, they did screw up. They screwed up bad. I've actually had a lot of emails from Sony fanboys that say, hey, I know you don't like Sony, and I was never a big Fujifilm fan, but I talked to so-and-so that it's had this camera for the past month. He was a pre-tester. And I know for a fact that I want this camera. I've had a lot of people, actually an inordinate amount of people, more than I actually have for any other camera, including the X-T2 before it rolled out, as far as people contacting me, telling me they would be getting this camera. Fujifilm is going to sell the hell out of this camera. They are. Maybe some people that actually check me out on live stream all the time, I actually was asked this question like about 1,000 times. And someone below, well actually more than one someone below, will confirm in the comments that over the past year or so, as Nikon's been hyping these turd muffins that they're rolling out, people said, do you think Nikon's going to do a good job on these new mirrorless cameras? And my exact words were basically, since I know Nikon as a company and I've been dealing with them for decades now and selling them, and of course owning a lot of them, that I said that Nikon is probably going to screw up really bad. I said that many times over the past year. I hope they didn't. I love Nikon as a company, but Nikon really did screw up bad on these cameras. I mean, a lot of hardcore, highly respected professionals have contacted me saying, this was just like a wet blanket from Nikon, and, the Canon is even worse. I mean, the one thing that the Nikon fanboys are chirping about in happiness is that their camera doesn't look so bad. Doesn't look so bad compared to the Canon EOS R. So, like I said, I never said this before about any camera, but if you're looking to get an X-T3, you should consider and I don't really believe in pre-orders, and I never talk about pre-ordering, and I've never said, go ahead and pre-order a camera. I've never said that before about any camera, but this is one time where you should. A lot of people, and I mean a lot. It's not my opinion. I know it's going to happen. I know it. D500, once the reviews started pouring in, and like for example, and I was the first one to review it, the sales went ballistic, but it is the case that the X-T3, Fujifilm, the sales will be ballistic out of the gate as far as first date to ship and sell these cameras on September the 20th here in, 11 days or something like that. So, yeah, that was my point. Since nobody else is mentioning this, I thought I would mention that because I am 100% accurate on this point. I know you're going to say, well, you don't know how many thousands of units Fujifilm has in the warehouse to ship out. I'm sure it's tons and tons. I can guarantee you whatever it is, it's not enough. I know that's the case. I know they're actually producing them faster and probably at a better rate in their other facilities since they're not Japan-made, but I can guarantee you they're not enough. So anyway, have a nice weekend. Whatever little bit's left of it that is anyway. I've been sick all weekend with the flu. Thank you and goodbye.